Face the cookie. The human face is composed of many muscles, with two large groups that help make a smile or frown. In this challenge, the contestant must move a total of 2 cookies from their forehead to their mouth using only their facial muscles. If a cookie drops, the contestant may reset another cookie on the forehead and try again. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds may result in elimination.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well. I just want to say that I am super proud of every single one of you for all the hard work that you've been putting in during this really long lockdown time. I am certain that during this time you have faced many challenges. I know I have. During my lockdown time, I have learned so much. My brain has grown so much because there are many different skills that I have had to learn to be able to do my job. I'm sure there are many new skills that you have learnt during this time as well. Today we're going to be talking about how challenges make us stronger. We've been talking for the last few weeks about how we can grow our brain. We learnt that when we fail, it gives us an opportunity to learn and to grow, and to learn something new. We've also learnt how very unique and special each one of us are, and how that's a really, really good thing. We've learned that we need to keep reminding ourselves that we can grow, that we can learn, and that whatever challenge we're facing, we can overcome it, even though we haven't overcome it yet. Now, yet is the most powerful word there. But it can be frustrating when we come across difficult tasks and we feel like we just can't do it. Often our first response is to run away, to close the book, or to sit there and not even try at all. But what happens when we run away, when we close the book, when we sit there? Well, nothing happens. It would kind of be like your mum deciding to make a chocolate cake, to mix up all of the raw ingredients and then decide to not even cook it at all. What would happen to that cake? Well, it would just stay raw and you wouldn't get delicious chocolate cake for dessert. See, science tells us that our brains are kind of like my Play-Doh here. With Play-Doh, you can make something with it, you can remodel it, you can reshape it, you can make something new, and you can add to the original design. Our brains are like this. Our brains are not like my boring rock here. My boring rock just kind of stays the same. It's a cool looking rock, but I can't model it and mold it into something new. But you know, the only way that our brains can grow is if we challenge them. See, the only way that I can take this lump of Play-Doh and make it into something is if I put the effort and creativity into doing so. It's the same with our brains. If we don't challenge them, they kind of like sit there like this lump of rock. This challenge is what we're learning about today. You see, without a challenge, you don't really learn anything new. Challenges are really, really good for you. You know, every single day of your life, whether you realize it or not, your brain has been facing many challenges. So for example, walking as a baby, talking, tying your shoes, learning to read, learning to jump and skip, all of these challenges your brain has faced and it has overcome them. So challenging our brains is actually nothing new. But sometimes we feel like something is a challenge because, well, we can't seem to overcome it. Some challenges feel like a challenge, others do not. And it's when we come across the hard challenges that we feel like this rock. We feel like we can't do anything, we can't change it, and it's really, really hard. That's the moment we realize that we have a challenge in front of us. When this happens, when the challenge is there in front of us, we have a choice to make. There are two things that we can do. We can choose to rise to the challenge and get ready to have our brains remodeled and reshaped. Or we can sit there and do nothing, like my rock. So the last few weeks we've been listening to a lot of inspiring stories about ordinary people just like you and me who have chosen to rise to the challenge and have seen some extraordinary things happen as a result. Remember, like the children in the landfill in Paraguay, they made that orchestra out of rubbish. Or maybe Ellie in Mexico when she had to learn Spanish. Or maybe Kira, the young explorer woman. Today we're going to be learning about another young person who had to rise to many challenges actually to become someone famous. So we're going to have a listen to her story now, and we're going to discover how challenges made this young woman much stronger. But wait! Before we see this amazing story, we have a news story breaking right now. What's that? We have our very own Mrs. Green coming to us live to share about another amazing challenge that has been beaten. Over to you, Mrs. Green.
Hello, children. I wanted to talk about a challenge that I had to face. And actually, I want to talk to you about the first challenge I ever remember. That was when I was only 4 and coming to Australia. I was leaving all my family other than my mum and dad and my brother and my sister behind me. No grandparents, no cousins, no aunts, no uncles. They were all going to stay behind. I was excited to be getting on a plane, but so scared about what I was coming into. I knew my country. I knew that there were green grasses, freezing cold snow, and lots of water everywhere. I found out that when I came here, it was hot and dry and so different from every experience. Even the buildings looked so different. I was scared. Soon it came time for me to go to school, and this is the challenge that I really remember most. I couldn't speak so that anyone could understand me. The words that I used were a different language. People thought that I was using baby talk. It was really hard, and it got so hard that one day I decided to climb out of the window and run away from school. My mother brought me straight back. That made it even harder. But there was a really kind lady at the school. I guess now you would call them a student learning support officer. But she sat with me and she taught me really important words. Words like toilet, food, water, drink, hungry, and also please, thank you, friend. Those words were the first words that I learned in the English language. And those words helped me to start to talk with other children. And as I spoke with other children, I discovered that I could make some friends. No longer was I the one that was different. I was just someone who was finding it hard to use the language. In sharing that time and finding new friends and having relationships with them, I found that it was much easier to be part of the school, to be part of the group, and to have that courage to keep facing challenges. It's important to have courage. But in facing those things, I found I developed more and more. And I discovered that it's important to face your challenges. It makes me think about our learning challenge on the wall in our school. I had to work through the time that was hard. I had to find the way to get to the other side. And it wasn't until I was willing to actually take that challenge on that I came out the other side a much better person and someone who had a group of friends with me. Together we made it. Together I was able to become the person that I have today, because I still face challenges and I still know that they're going to come. It doesn't matter how old we are, they're there. And being brave enough to face them helps us on our journey.
And now it's time to listen to the story of Smriti Mandhana.
From an early age, Smriti Mandhana learned to face every challenge head-on. Growing up in India, she loved to play her country's most popular sport, cricket. In fact, Smriti dreamed of becoming a professional cricket player. Although cricket is very popular in India, most professional players are male. Smriti knew that being a girl was going to make it much harder to reach her goal. But she didn't let that discourage her. Smriti knew that she could become a great cricket player so long as she embraced every challenge that came her way. Smriti grew up in Sangli, a small city in the Maharashtra region of western India. Sangli is known for its sugarcane and spice fields, not for its cricket players. When she was 5 years old, Smriti would walk with her father and older brother to the cricket nets every day to watch them practice. During their practice, Smriti's job was to collect the balls, and, as a reward, they would let her hit 10 balls at the end of each day. Getting her father and brother to take her seriously on the field was Smriti's first challenge. From then on, she would make the most of every moment she had on the cricket field, no matter what. As Smriti's brother began to play professionally, she became even more inspired to keep practicing. There were fewer opportunities for girls that wanted to play cricket, but Smriti saw this as just another challenge to tackle, not a reason to give up. Smriti practiced alongside her brother until she was finally chosen for her state's under-15s cricket team. She was just 9 years old. It would be a challenge to play with much older kids, but it was a challenge that was going to make Smriti a better player. Smriti was dedicated to her goal of making the professional cricket team of India, but it was not going to be easy. There are more than 1 billion people living in India and only 11 people on the national cricket team. Smriti used this challenge as her motivation. She practiced early in the morning before school and after sunset in the evenings. When Smriti turned 11, she was selected to play for Maharashtra's under-19s professional team. Of course, there were many people who doubted Smriti and were shocked to see a girl playing cricket. Smriti's arms weren't yet strong enough to swing the bat hard and score 4s or 6s, which are like home runs in baseball. However, Smriti figured out that she could use the speed of the ball to her advantage. As long as she made contact at the right angle and at the right moment, the ball would soar across the field. Smriti was able to use this strategy to get high scores quickly until her muscles were strong enough to hit the ball straight out of the park. Some challenges that Smriti faced even ended up giving her an advantage later on in her career. Smriti was used to playing cricket in extremely hot weather, on rough terrain, and with makeshift equipment. These conditions made it easy to become exhausted and difficult to run fast and perform well. But because she was so used to these conditions, when she turned pro, she was often playing on smooth pitches with professional equipment and in cool weather, which made playing cricket way easier. Smriti faced many challenges on her journey towards becoming a professional athlete, and with each new challenge, she came up with a new strategy. Because of her dedication to refining her skills, Smriti's performance improved very quickly. At the age of 17, Smriti became the first Indian woman to score 200 runs in a one-day cricket match. Smriti's career as a professional cricket player was taking off, but she still had many more obstacles to overcome. During an important match in Australia, Smriti slipped during play and landed hard on the ground. She had ruptured a ligament in her knee. Smriti's injury was serious, and she was on crutches for the next 4 months. By the time she was able to walk again, the World Cup was only 2 months away. During her recovery, Smriti would wake up every day and say to herself, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to play." Once again, the physical and mental challenges of Smriti's injury helped her to develop another new strategy. Although she was forced to rest, she used this time to reflect on her success and change her attitude toward the game. The stillness of her recovery helped Smriti to become more composed and to stop overthinking her play. "Focus only on the ball," Smriti said to herself. This was her new mindset. When Smriti returned to play for India, she was more composed and in control than ever before. As she stepped out onto the pitch, she could hear the crowd roaring for the opposing team. But it didn't matter. It was just her bat and the ball. She took deep breaths of the cool air, in and out. Smriti smashed it straight out of the stadium. India won by 35 runs. Smriti is now the Indian cricket team's vice captain. In 2018, she was voted the world's best female cricketer of the year. Smriti's determination to improve every day means that she is always seeking out new challenges. People used to dismiss women's sports teams, but Smriti Mandhana is one of many incredible sportswomen helping to change that. She is inspiring a new generation of boys and girls to play cricket and get Mandhana printed on the back of their cricket jerseys. Smriti once said that no one ever thought that a girl from Sangli would ever play for India. Challenge accepted and completed.
That was a great story. I think Smriti is an amazing young woman. I wonder, what were some of the challenges that she had to face? What were the things that she had to overcome? Well, first, she had to overcome the fact that she was young and the fact that she was a girl, because girls didn't play cricket. But to overcome it, she practiced and she was able to prove how very talented she was. How did Smriti become stronger from the challenges that she faced? Well, these challenges forced her to work hard and to develop her skills even more than she would have otherwise. She became used to having to fight for every single step of the way to becoming a famous cricketer. What small steps did she take to tackle these big challenges? Well, she practiced every day. She woke up early and she helped at her brother's practices. She did small steps to help her overcome the big challenge of becoming a famous cricketer. So when we face difficult challenges, it's not always easy to rise to the challenge. Sometimes it's actually really hard, and sometimes we do want to sit there like a big lump of rock. Why is this? Well, this is because we feel discouraged. What does discouraged mean? Well, if I can remember my English correctly, if you put dis in front of something, it gives it the opposite meaning. So to be discouraged means to be lacking in courage. And sometimes, actually many times, we need courage to face our challenges. So here are some helpful things that you can do when you're feeling discouraged, when you're feeling like you're lacking courage to face your challenges. The first thing we can do is, just like Smirty, we can simply take small steps to achieve our big challenge. We can break it down into small and achievable chunks. Just like an assignment that you're working on. Maybe you don't do it all in the one day, but you do it over a few days, a little bit by a little bit. The second thing that you need to do is really simple actually. You just need to be kind to yourself. Remember that you haven't achieved this challenge yet. And your brain and body both need time to learn. Imagine yourself teaching a younger person, or maybe even a small puppy, something new. You would be kind to them, wouldn't you? You would take them step by step, small bit by small bit, and you would be kind to them during the learning process. Be kind to yourself too as you're learning. Another thing you can do is hit the reset button. Have you ever played a game on your iPad or Xbox or PlayStation and the level is just so hard that you choose to respawn, to reset the game so you can start over? It's kind of like what resetting is all about when you're facing challenges. When you're battling a challenge, stop, take a deep breath or two, and try again. And maybe you might need to take a brain break as well and move yourself away from the challenge for a few minutes. Go outside, pat your dog, have some fresh air, and then come back and try again. Another thing you can do is really simple. You can remind yourself of other challenges that you have overcome. You've got this. You and your very clever brain have overcome many challenges before. Tell yourself that you've got this challenge as well. You can overcome this challenge. You can also remember why you're doing the task in the first place. Think about the reason that makes this challenge important to overcome. Just like Smirty, her end goal was to become a famous cricketer, and she kept that in mind as she was facing all the different challenges. It's also a little bit like learning to play a song on a musical instrument. Why are you learning that particular song? Well, because you really like that song and you really want to know how to play it. But the only way to be able to play that song is to take it step by step, to take it bar by bar, to take it note by note and practice it over and over. Why are you reading that particular book? Well, it's an excellent series and you want to know how it ends. But your challenges are some of the difficult words that you're reading that you don't understand. So you need to learn the meaning of those different words and then you'll be able to read the whole book. Always remember the reason why you're doing a particular challenge, and that will help keep you motivated. Another thing that you can do, and this is so simple, is you can smile. You know, when I make videos, I make a lot of mistakes. I'm sure you've seen plenty of my bloopers. Sometimes though, I just sit there and I laugh and I smile. I laugh at myself because it's just so much fun, and I smile because it just makes everything feel better. You know, smiling is actually really healthy for your body. Scientists tell us that. It actually produces a chemical called serotonin, which is known for making us feel better and for taking away stressful feelings. So when you're sitting there and you're facing a challenge, just stop and smile, and I guarantee you will feel 1,000,000 times better. So as we finish up today, I want you to spend a few minutes at the end of this video thinking about a time that you have faced a challenge and that you've overcome it. What are some of the strategies that you use to overcome that particular challenge? Maybe some of those strategies you can put in place for the next time. Or maybe you can use the strategies that I have just listed that can help you overcome challenges. Maybe for a bit of fun, you can find an Oreo biscuit or just any other biscuit and you can take the Oreo challenge just like I did. I have to confess to you though, I ate about 8 Oreo biscuits in the making of this video. Whoops, that's way too many Oreo biscuits. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you again on another Big Life Journal. Bye bye.